Well, let's get going. I was just looking at Bitcoin, and this is what we were looking at last week. So we did have, so last Sunday was that, it was back here. So back here, we were looking at this. We were looking for a sweep of the lows once again. We did have two initial targets. We were looking for a setup here at that first sweep of 95. We were trying to catch along there. We did get some bids here and hit. Then we pushed up, hit some profits, and then we come back and stopped us out break even. So that ended up being sort of a successful trade, even though we did dump back down again. And this is the entry I was looking at for it's like a very long time ago. And as well as that, it was my favorite scenario when we do come back down, sweep these flows once again, tap into the 786, which we did front run on this dump back here, which was a Wednesday. That's like 2 weeks ago. So we did get that. I was sort of expecting here some type of an ABC correction, with a B being a B flat, and we have a three-way move up. We're looking for a three-way move down, and then we had that sort of impulsive move towards the upside as in that C wave to take out the high of A. We did also tap into that 1412. I think I accidentally moved this. Yes, I did. So look, bro, I need to redraw that. Let's see. 1, 2. Oops, the wrong one. There we have it. Yeah, so we did come up and hit our target. I mean, we had this box here. It's the 1272 at 99.4, and then we got that insane rejection after sweeping the highs. You never end up sweeping any of these previous highs back down from that's like 20 days ago. So we still have left these highs untouched, but overall structure is not very bullish yet for me personally. I mean, this push towards upside here looks very squeezy. You're basically a short squeezing people out, and then you dump the second you sort of sweep that last batch of liquidity towards the upside. Like some sort of a blow off top right there. You swept the previous daily highs, never end up sweeping weekly highs, and then you got a dump of that. And now you could be looking at this and saying like, oh, lower high, and a higher high, because you did break the high. But if you do actually look on the higher time frames, this is only a sweep. Like, you did not close any candles above. The only thing you did was tap into it, SFP the high, and then dump from there. So I am sort of questionable. I mean, we can still go up from here. There is always the case that this here is not actually an ABC, and that we have I'm gonna hide this for a bit so we can have a view of things right here, that this is not actually an ABC, but we have an ABC back here, which means we had this A, B, C, and this is your C, and this is your first impulsive move, and now you're forming a corrective move quite aggressively. Corrective move here, look for a higher low, and then you're starting forming more impulses towards upside. Not a fan of this structure, especially not in Eldrad waves. Cause I mean, you can look at this this move up, and there's like nothing about it screaming bullish to me. Just looks like your typical short squeeze. You could count 5 waves in this, where you have a 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But also you could also count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Like, there's so many ways to count this. It's basically impossible. It's basically the same sort of price action as you did get back here when we did get this move up here on Trump stuff, which in this case ended up being more of a 3-way structure than actually a 5-way structure. So if this is a ABC flat, I can't even write ABC, then we are looking for impulsive structures to the downside. And of course, this first move down here is very aggressive, very aggressive. You could still get that second bounce where you do form a higher low here, three-way move up, reject off, let's say the 618, 6786, somewhere in this region, and then you start forming impulses towards the downside once again. And that's sort of what I'm leaning towards at the moment, is where we do get lower. But this price action is also very questionable. Like, you're sort of having this slow rounded top here, but this almost makes people want to short it. So people short stack up here, short stack up. So you might actually get that push up to at least take out these shorts. Then if you're gonna keep on going from there and actually form a higher low and keep on going towards the upside, we will have to wait and see what type of move up we do actually get. Like, is this going to be a three-way move up here? And of course, this move up here is also difficult to count this as a 1, 2, 3, because this here is clear to me that this is a three-way move. So either this, I'm trying to, so either this here is an ABC, and you're starting forming more impulses here towards the downside, or this is just the beginning of an A. So you're basically looking at this as A right here. This is here your B wave. Now you're looking for a C wave towards the upside here in the 5 wave. And then you look for a lower high, and first to continue push towards the downside after that. But I do think we come back up and sweep at least these weekend. Well, that's Saturday highs. I think we even made Friday highs. Yeah, Friday highs are all the way up at 99.4. We might maybe have a CME gap. I have not checked that, so I could have a look. I mean, we would not have it yet, but 95 is where it's closed at. So that would be, no, it's basically at the same price we're currently at, so it would be a small gap, but nothing major. But that's what I'm favoring at the moment. Then if I do zoom out here and we put the stuff back on, then that was also this sort of rising wedge, not rising wedge, falling wedge, expanding wedge even, because you do see we are getting wider and wider. Usually you do see 3 taps towards the downside before you actually move up from these. But of course not always. You're still above its previous mid-range, and this might actually hold and you start pushing from here, but I am sort of still very hesitant on trying to catch any swing longs. Sticking to lower time frames, I did miss this short. I did say it also on the day. I did say I was looking for a sweep and for a short or push down, but I'd never end up getting in on that tap. I mean, I have scenarios. Bullish scenario. I mean, scenarios have not changed from 2 weeks ago because price is basically at the same price. You just have a lot more shop, and that we are still potentially forming this sort of 1, 2, 3 wave. Very unlikely because of how long this consolidation here is. This is more likely to be a 3 wave, and that means that we could, I'm gonna remove this, that we could, instead of actually getting this big push up, we could get this push up, pull back, push up once again, take out the highs, consolidate here, and then push down again before you're actually done with this move towards the downside, and then you can start forming impulsive structures towards the upside. So there are always multiple things here to keep in mind. I mean, we did have that 1618 at 101k. So that's definitely a scenario I am looking at, as well as the bearish case. The bearish case remains the same. The bearish case does have a higher probability based off our local structure. So even if you do get that push up, we could just get this push up here, push into that 1618, and then break down again, and then finally get this sweep of these previous lows, range lows, all the way back at 86, between 86 and 83 ish, to finish off this potential ABC flat. And you're looking to target up into that 116 to 122 if you do get that. It's also potential macro waves in terms of Elliott waves, and that could be a macro wave 4 and potential macro wave 5, which would be the high likely. Unless, I mean, a wave 5 can be very expanding, so you could also get like, let's say you do get pulled back here, you start forming a wave 5, and then you get a large massive push towards the upside here in a wave 5, and you push into a 140. We don't know that yet, but for now we have to watch these local levels, 116, 120, and we will have to just update based off that. And of course, this is the price action of this shit I have on the chart. The charts is price action based off 2024 ETFs news. So we're sort of moving in a similar way here, at least for now. As far as setups goes, for Solana, I mean Bitcoin. Not very interested in trading this right here. If we just have a look at this and we look at our previous scenarios, and we did have that ABC, then you would be looking at this to push back up into the 786, 618. This region here would also be your trend line right there, and you would be looking for a tap into it, reject it, and you could look for a potential short here on confirmation with a stop loss above that recent high that we do make for a catch back down towards those lows at 93. So that's definitely a setup I am looking at. I know Aussie was looking for a long here, retest into this sort of zone. I am still a bit 50-50. I do still think we do get these sweeps, but I am more likely than to just trade on the lower time frames. So if you look at that, I mean, you have a bunch of liquidity built up here. You did have a small liquidity sweep all the way back down up here. As far as, I mean, this might not actually be a bad long at all. If we already took it here. If you do break below these lows again, I am expecting us to take out these lows minimum. So it is a very good risk to reward from here if you did manage to take those, and you, let's say you have a stop loss below those recent lows or all the way back down here, and take it back into that golden pocket 618, scale off profits are around these areas, also these local highs that we did form today, which was a very rounded top, but that's just looks like a trap to me for now. Yeah, so that's if you do get the retest here once again, to look for a long, or if you're in Aussie's long, which you did get the same thing but from back here, then you're it's looking pretty good for you then. I know Aussie is already long from all the way back here, I think 94.8. Yeah, so he just added to his position instead. To ride this back at least into the 618, 786 regions. I mean, those are pretty much the major setups I would be looking at. If you do take out high, and you do get that confirmation that we are bullish, we are looking for a breakout, then you would be looking for us to come back into this sort of region here, and that's where you could start looking for longs again. First, to actually start pushing here as a 1, 2, 3 sort of manner. and push back up into the regions of 105, potentially 110. But there are a bunch of levels in between. Like that's your massive, that's a massive resistance right there. You've rejected off it so many times. But it's also a zone that we do usually revisit. It's more sort of a question of when are we going to visit it. Yeah, but those would be the potential setups I would be looking at. If you just start breaking down, we do have this 85, 86k region, which is going to be the most interesting one for me. We have the 114, which is a 86, and the 1272 at 83.5. So 83.5 is stink bits for me, likely just get a wick down if you do push down, and hopefully potentially close. You would be closing about 86. So that's if you do get a breakdown over the coming weeks. I mean, as far as shorts go, if you do come up, same thing goes here. So if stink bid would be that 122, and if you do push up here all the way into that 127, I would be looking for some sort of reaction here for the potential breakdown, or just a local pullback here to make a higher low and push, keep on going through the upside. But you would have to see a very big increase in volume here to actually confirm this breakout. If you do not get that, it's likely going to be a fake out and you come back into range once again and revisit at least mid-range, which would be like 90, 95k-ish, 97 maybe. So let's move on. So these are your liquidity levels for Bitcoin at the moment. And we did take out the high. I mean, the high of, basically all of these highs back down here. Previous daily high, we did sweep. We closed the candle bearish. You did also sweep that low from 2 days ago. After that, we are just playing ping pong right here, taking out the highs, taking out the lows, taking out the highs, taking out the lows, taking out the highs, and so on. And your larger sort of liquidity levels is going to be either you come back up here, push into this 102, watch for a reaction here, you could catch a potential short into mid-range and then look for a potential move up, or you get a breakdown here and you come back down and sweep this liquidity at 91. And then I think you do push down into this 88 and sweep this also before you actually get that move up. ETH, I don't have much to say about it. As usually, I don't have any prepared charts on it. We do have my bearish case, and it's out there. It's in my channel if you want to check it out. It's strong. It is strong. Instead of forming this rounded top, which looks like we are forming on Bitcoin, you are forming this rounded bottom instead. Now, are a bunch of longs stacking up here potentially, because you have not yet gotten any liquidity sweep all the way back then here. But same thing goes for the upside here. You do still have a bunch of liquidity here towards the upside. So if you were to look here, you could get a sweep of these highs, see some sort of deviation back into range, to come back down, sweep these lows back down here, and either curve up from there if you're bullish, or you come back down lower into these regions where you look for a reaction after sweeping those. That was not a straight line, that's for sure. Into that. As for Fibs, we can look for the 786 here. 618 even, we have not tapped that down on ETH. So you have the golden pocket at 2.3 and 786 at 2.4 and 2.3. So that would be if you do get that sweep up here with a deviation back into range, then you do look for that sweep, internal sweep first, 2.6k, and that there you could look for short, but potentially if you do get that confirmation here with a stop above the highs and a long back down here if you do get that confirmation also, or even back down here at the golden pocket. So those are just the quick what I'm looking at on ETH. This structure here is still pretty confusing. I don't know if this would be counted as a 5-way structure or a 3-way structure here. You could be looking at it as everything, to be honest. As a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or that you do have. I mean, this is a 3-way move here. You have an A, it's a B, and this is a massive extended C. So many possibilities of the higher time frames here. I mean, we did bounce off macro lows, which is going to be back here, and then you have all of these previous range lows, which we do have to flip to actually regain momentum back up again, which is going to be around the price we're currently at. But to actually confirm this breakout, you do need a actual push towards upside before you actually start forming a impulsive, some sort of structure, corrective structure down again, and then you look for a continuation. This corrective structure may, if you do get that, may also just be very much sideways, and then you keep going from there. That's usually how Bitcoin moves. So maybe if ETH is actually bullish, we get that out there. As for Solana goes, we are still very much hovering towards the bearish side of things. I was looking into this 1414, 114, and 1272. Same thing goes here. You did front run it. You did not have the 786. You did not take out the lows. You do still have that mid range which is untapped. And you have not tapped that 1272. So we did front run a bunch of levels. Now it's interesting. Either you front run a bunch of orders here and you're gonna pump off it, or you're just trapping longs once again and you come back down here, take them out, sweep that liquidity, then start pushing up again. That's what I would like to see, but it may not happen. We never know. But we are looking at the same thing we did 2 weeks ago as this potential 5-way move up. You have, or I mean, you do have 5-way ups here, and this is a potential ABC correction. This C is what you're currently in the 5-way move, where you do have a 1, 2, 3. Your currently weekend high was 4, and you're now looking to push down in a wave 5. To confirm that, that structure, corrective structure, and then you start looking for impulsive moves back towards the upside, as I'm showing right here. I don't have any local bullish case for Solana. I mean, it's the same thing applies as we did for Bitcoin. You did take out the lows here though. This move up is a 3-wave, so that's likely an A. That's a B. This is potentially a C. Then that would be a correction move, and you start forming impulsive moves towards the upside. Next move up would confirm it. Or there is the case that this is an A. So this is a 3-way move here. And then you have a 3-way move up. And then you have a 5-way move down again. But likely does push up still here one more time at least. Take out local highs. It's just gonna be if it's a matter of 3-way move up, with impulsive move up or corrective move up. I am not in any positions. I have been lower time from trading this, like scalping this, but that's all I'm staking to, guys. So that's also why you don't see many calls from me right now. It is a bit difficult to call these lower time frame trades. So I'd rather just jump in like a VC for you guys and live trade with you for some scalp trades. Rather do that. We can move on from there. I don't know what I have on this chart. Yeah, so this is what we're looking on the higher time frames. is that we are looking for this as a 1. This is a ABC flat. You're still consolidating here. I want to see one more wick down, form that double bottom or sweep, SFP, and then you get that push up into above the 382, 205 key level first. You have value area low at 196 and 220 at point of control to actually come back up and take out the highs. And potentially do take out, I have to move this down, those previous highs at 297. If it's a 3 wave, you push into 1618, and if it's a, and I mean common target 1618, but if it's a potential A, B, C in a larger wave, which is an A, this is a B, and this is a C, then you do usually see that rejection at the 1272 at 344 instead. So I do think we go up still, but it's likely gonna take some time still. Could take another month or 2. Yeah, guys, feel free to send your alt requests now in chat. I will start going through those also. USDT dominance, not much has happened. Played out as we did expect. We did get that push up. We swept the highs. You did have a pretty nice move down. Now it's a question of is this move up here or down, and you start forming pushes towards the downside. And crypto's bullish of that, or are we going to push back up into that those previous fibs, 618 and 786? But this, I do have to say, looks quite bearish. A big candle there. But again, I don't know. I mean, this is very low volume. This should straight up move up. Then you have this cup-ish. I guess you could look at this a cup and handle, but you have not gotten a breakout, so there's no confirmations of this being bullish yet. So you would be favoring sort of downside here on USDT dominance, which would be bullish for crypto. But if you do take out the highs one more time, you are likely going to see a push up into at least the 618, potentially fill this wick all the way back down here, back up here. Let's have a look at XRP. Are you looking for a swing trade, Crypto Queen? Or what type of trades are you looking at, like time frame wise? Or are you thinking spot bags? You have a massive deviation on XRP here. This is your range lows. You did bounce off that mid range. Swing trade, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did like this. I mean, it's not we are not in an easy swing trading market, that much I can say. Like, they're gonna make you question your trades 50 times before you actually move up or down to take out your stop loss or take profit. I would like to see us come back and take out the lows one more time, and then you can look for that. But we do also have a bunch of ugly wicks back down here. I know Aussie has a setup for this, so maybe compare it to his. He did have one entry all the way back up here, I think, somewhere in this region. And then he did have a entry also based off liquidity sweep down here. So I do agree with that. I would like to see the liquidity sweep, unless you're looking for a bull flag here. Doesn't look very bull flaggy to me. I mean, you're coming from a move up. This has a higher probability of breaking down than actually breaking up again. So we need further confirmation on that. So I would not be entering here. I would either wait for trendline flip. So we play it like very basic. You look for us to flip the trend line. you look first to come from a bottom here, push up here, take out the highs, have multiple closes above this trend line, and then you take it back up into previous range highs. That's a one swing trade opportunity right there. Otherwise, you look for an SFP of the lows, first at 2.467, or preferably all the way back at 2.3, to take out those lows and reclaim that level and push up from there. That would be your optimal entry at this case. Sxei. Yeah, same thing applies here. You do want to see a breakout first, because right now, if you were to long, you would be looking to long it straight into resistance. So either you do look for that lower time frame confirmations, like if you do have a fair value gap right here, something like that, and you flip the highs, enter a small trade back up here on the retest, set stop at recent lows, and then you take it back into previous highs. Then of course these highs are it's a big level that you would actually have to, you need to get some sort of a volume confirmation here. You want to see a proper push up before you actually start looking for longs in this region, because unless you actually, if you'd only get to like a lower volume push, or yes, I mean something in this sense, then you will just get something like this. You get a fake out, people start longing here, and then you come straight back down again. So you don't want to get caught up in that. You need an actual proper push towards the upside, and then you can look for a pullback to actually enter some swing longs from there. Aside from that, it's going to be all about sticking on the lower time frames. You can look for an SFP at this level at 3.2, and that's where you could have entered. If you get an SFP, you can enter on that candle and set a very tight stop loss just below the wick, and take that just back up into the local highs, which is going to be right around these 3.46 level, or you just look for a bigger sweep, and that's going to be all the way back at these lows at 2.9, and that's going to be your bigger sweep level as of where we're currently at. Also, your golden pocket, you could potentially tap into 618 with a 786 with a wick, so that could be a decent stink bid with a tight stop loss of maybe like 2.5. Throw the 886 on there. 2.5 ish. So that could be a stink bid trade if you do start get pushing down, to just take it back to local highs, or potentially into range highs. As far as breakout goes, breakout trades have not been very successful over the last few weeks. I mean, we can look at this coin, so-called Bitcoin, and see if we actually had any successful breakout trades. I mean, we can look here. People thought we would break out here. They get stopped out. Break out here. We get stopped out. Break out here. You get stopped out again. So yeah, just gotta be aware of that. You do need a proper push to be able to look for a pullback and confirmation and continuation, it's called. AVAX is moving sort of as expected. You're still above that trend line, but it's very, I mean, that's not a good looking trend line, that's for sure. I would have to drag that lower. I mean, that's a failed breakout to me. You did come back down. You swept the lows. You just started pushing up. You failed breakout one time. You come back down, put in a higher low. Try to break out again. Failed once again. That's bearish. You're likely coming back to sweep lower liquidity. Potentially fill this wick. Likely fill this wick, I have to say. Stink bid would be around 20.2. 20.5, I mean. Get that sweep of those previous wick back down here. And also, you do usually get a reaction of the 886, even though 886 often gives us a push up just to come back down and sweep us once again. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you do get that pushed up, is that being aware of us having a pretty high probability of coming back down. Reclaim on 3-2, that's where you start building strong momentum towards the upside once again, and then you can start looking for previous highs. I don't really have much more than that. Dupe. That's just consolidating. There's nothing I'm interested in here. Give me a sweep of all of, like, you have so many lows here. Sweep these. Give us a big juicy sweep of this, and then you can start looking for longs again. Wormhole again, same thing as AVAX. You tap into the zone that we're interested in. You swept the lows. You start pushing that back up. Failed to break out. Pushed back up again. Made a lower high, and now you're likely pushing lower once again. Super has not moved. It's still in the same range. Just consolidating. Likely does consolidate here for a bit before you actually get either a move down or you get a move up. Near I want the 786, which will be a wick fill also. And also you do have that liquidity wick back down here, which is going to be 2.45. But yeah, I mean, it's slightly stronger than some coins. But again, you've failed to break out here multiple times. I could see us come back up, take out the highs one more time, then see something like this. Potentially sweep these highs. That's if they do decide to sweep the weekend positions, which we do usually do. So that's a common thing we actually do. Any other coin requests, guys? Or is it? I mean, we can have a look at this so-called heat map. Liquidity. Let's look at the 30-day. 30-day, we do have actually more towards the upside than the downside. So we do have 5 billion towards 91.6, all the way down to 91.3, and then upside we do have all the way. I mean, you do have all the way up 106k, 10.7 billion. So that's very interesting. Locally, it does look like we do have more towards the downside. So maybe you do get a sweep towards the downside first towards that 93.5 region, potentially sweep 91, 92k, and then you start pushing up and you basically play very aggressive and you start sweeping these. Would also not surprise me. I mean, I do expect us to come back and take these sort of this liquidity out. Again, it's just a matter of when. Does it happen now? Does it happen next week? Does it happen tomorrow? Yeah, so on and so on. I'm gonna move this so I can actually see something. And as far as, coin market cap fear and greed goes, it's at neutral still. So we did hit fear. You're just at the bottom of neutral at the moment. We did hit fear. That was, I mean, yeah, you hit it multiple times. Locally, we are expecting higher, so to at least take out this weekend liquidity potentially back into the 618. Bullish case, you do start breaking up and you take out the highs once again, and that's also when you start looking for some sort of an more impulsive moves towards upside here, where you do target higher into 101, 105, 106 ish. break above that, we're looking all the way back up into 110 and 116 and 122. So there are some interesting levels at the moment. I've been sticking to lower time frame trading. It's been working the best. So that's why I haven't shared many calls, guys. But Aussie has been killing it. He's been catching those knives with a perfect sniper entries. So that is beautiful. He's also long at the moment. So he's in this long, but I do think he has a bit higher targets than I currently have marked out on the charts. Let's have a look. Let's see. Can bring up his chart. There we have it. 98,163. First TP. 100.2, 102, and 105. So that's if you do get a breakout of the high, which he's looking for, then he's looking for higher continuation. It's a beautiful entry right there from him. And I will likely be looking first to scalp longs. If we were to look at some key levels, we can see that we have previous daily high at 96.9. We can look at zoom out and the previous weekly high, which we also get one more today because we did sweep that, which is going to be at 99.4, I believe. Yeah, 99.4. And previous weekly low, which we did not sweep. It is at 94k. Wait, we did actually sweep it. We did sweep it. Never mind. All the way back down on Tuesday. As far as the daily opens goes, yeah, we had our daily open at 96.5 today. Then we dumped. Previous daily open, we bounced off once, 95.1 before we start breaking down again. So that's 96.5. That's what you have to break to get that move up into those 618, 76 regions. Well, I don't have any more, guys. Any questions or last minute requests? Market has not been very inspiring at the moment. It's been pretty boring. So just sticking to lower time frame trades. Might jump on VC here and there just to scalp trade with you guys. Well, thank you guys for listening.